Even if you don't like me, you might be interested in hearing from the person who we're going to be hosting tonight for the interview. I'm just saying, just stress out, bear with it through me. Somebody better is coming up. Trust me.
Well, thanks. It's Saturday night, which means it's time to...
Take a deep breath with Greg Gutfeld.
All right. If you paid attention to the media, you were convinced it was once again the end of the frickin' world. Kind of like this.
You said that it's okay.
Be here, end up murdering the children of American citizens.
You know what's horrible?
What's horrible?
When the president of the United States whips up people to beat the hell out of people.
No.
Say goodbye.
You know, I'd say that's worse than The View, but it is The View. Let me break it to you, America. Stuff is good. Jobs, economy. If Trump is in anyone's pockets, it's yours, and he's dumping wads of cash in it. We're powerful, we're prosperous, we're peaceful, we're happy, at least happier than we were under Obama. That's from a poll, I believe polls. According to that same poll, this is great. Most people know that the media is nuts. Fewer than 1% think Russia is a big deal. The media is completely preoccupied by something less than 1% care about. How disconnected can you be? In terms of significance to most Americans, Russia's tied with my third nipple. It's an adorable one, but I get it. It's hard to tell what matters with our media. Every day their hair is on fire, and I include this chap who has none. So many cartoon Cronkites.
What we all saw and heard in Helsinki today is really frightening. An absolutely shameful display by an American president with the whole world watching.
As you see behind me, there's a little bit of a gloom now. It's set in right after the world witnessed a betrayal the likes of which we've never seen. America's president sided with its enemy today. Shock has turned to a national shunning as America finds unity in President Trump's perfidy.
Ah! Perfidy! Somebody found a thesaurus! Oy vey. They make Chicken Little a comatose. Now Trump is invited, get this, has Trump invited Putin to America. The media screams, but I love it. You know, the media says, please, please, please don't do X. And Trump said, here's X squared. He knows you can't win with the media, who can't see what's obvious to the rest of us. We know the real world looks nothing like what they see. Here's MSNBC's coverage of Trump's last press conference. The reality, your life's actually getting better, yet the media's mentality keeps getting worse. Why is that? It's because in their heads, they're watching something totally different. The media sees the news as a scripted event, and they're furious Trump won't read from their script. He reads from his own. So while the media panics over Trump's refusal to play the lead in their movie, he stars in his own. Building up the military, demanding NATO pay for their defense, toying with Putin's pipeline, arming Ukraine. It's like Sergeant Rock versus the Three Stooges. But if Trump is Putin's stooge, he's doing a total curly to their Mo. Do they really think deal-making is how you destroy America? It reminds me of a movie.
In 1962, the world met the Manchurian Candidate. He was an American prisoner of war, brainwashed by communists into being an unwitting assassin against his own country. Now comes the long-awaited sequel.
We haven't ever had to reckon with the possibility that somebody has ascended to the presidency of the United States to serve the interests of another country rather than our own.
He was a real estate mogul turned reality show host, but then a foreign power made him their sleeper agent.
It was a shocking display of surrender, unlike anything we've seen from an American president.
But what the enemy didn't know was that when he finally rose to the top, he'd do unspeakable things, like cutting taxes, lowering the unemployment rate, demanding NATO allies pay their fair share, growing the economy, and neutralizing nuclear threats. Nude man on a unicorn surfing on a breadstick teaching another unicorn how to surf on a breadstick Films presents Vladimir Putin, Chris Matthews, and Donald Trump as the worst Manchurian candidate ever. The Manchurian Candidate 2, the worst Manchurian candidate ever.
So obvious. It's so obvious. For Trump, a Russia deal is just a deal like buying a car, except it's peace and prosperity. Watch any good salesman and you'll see somebody ignoring all the negatives and zeroing in on the close. The past is the past until after the handshake, which is why Trump doesn't get all the outrage over this. He's like every husband who says the wrong thing and doesn't know why he's suddenly ducking a potted plant. It's true. After all, dialogue is a very important thing, and it's a very good thing.
Dialogue is a very important thing, and it's a very good thing. So if we get along with them, great. If we don't get along with them, then we won't get along with them.
Exactly. How easy is that to follow? He knows being polite to a thug is a small price to pay to neutralize a few nuclear threats. I'll give you a pat on the back in public, Vlad, if you give us Syria, Iran, North Korea, and fix your damn alphabet. I mean, what the hell is this? I don't know. In reality, Putin's just another mob boss you gotta grease to get that new casino off the ground. So in the press fantasy, anytime Trump is polite to anyone, that's proof of conspiracy. In reality, though, is having conversations with Putin or Kim the same as colluding? No wonder collusion's in the air. It's made out of nothing. No, you avoid conflict through conversation. Sorry, you can't just ignore Russia like it's Jim Acosta at a press conference. Yet so many progressives hate progress. Ironically, Trump may do more for the cause of peace than any left-limping president ever could, because he's dealing from a position of strength. What a surprise. A 73-year-old billionaire who dealt with thugs his whole life is succeeding where a grad student who writes bad poetry couldn't. How is that? He got the stick and the carrot in the right order. You build up the military, that's the stick. Then comes the carrot. Liberals do the opposite. They declare sticks a threat to the environment. Then they bury our enemies in carrots. But Trump dealing with Putin? In Trump's pocket is a big stick. And he's not just happy to see him. Let's welcome tonight's guests. If he ever becomes a porn star, he won't have to change his name. Former CIA officer and radio TV host, Buck Sexton. Buck Sexton. Practicing her name. I'm practicing her name. She's our business reporter from north of the border, the best Canadian import since Molson Beer, Fox Business Network reporter Christina Partsinevelis. Yeah. Partsinevelis. Partsinevelis. She's so bright the sun seeks shade from her. National Review reporter Kat Timpf. I could say her name. And just like the Vatican, he's famous for his mass. That's a great one. WWE superstar, massive sidekick, kick, Tyrus, Freudian slip. Buck, I love this week. I love this week. It was hilarious. Every day I was laughing.
It was the Super Bowl of snowflakeism. It was like nothing I've ever seen in my life. You've never seen so much pearl clutching. In fact, wherever you set the boundaries of what's too crazy for mainstream media publications to say, you're like, okay, look, press conference wasn't amazing. You know, this isn't the second coming of Metternich. Like, I can understand why some people might have some issues here.
Right.
but it's not as bad as Pearl Harbor. Bam! Headline, it's as bad as Pearl Harbor.
It's as bad.
Somebody even compared it to Crystal Night.
I know.
And I'm like, is this just because you don't want to do the usual Hitlerian things?
Yeah.
You decided to get specific? These people completely lost their minds, and now we're at the end of the week. And then we know people don't care about it because we got Avenatti back on TV.
Yeah,
so this is the loop. This is the script.
True. It's true. Now it's back to porn stars and sex. The way I like it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Christina, you cover money and business, and you do it well at Fox Business. The economy seems immune to any of this stuff, and Americans seem immune.
It's true. It's true. We just hit the lowest unemployment rate that we've seen since 1969. I knew you'd appreciate that date. And then we're also, well, since you've talked about your third nipple already, drugs, and porn stars. I gotta. But more importantly, Yes is doing well. We had a bunch of earnings that came out this week. Very, very strong. However, because I cover business news, my only color is green, we have to be concerned about the trade tariffs.
I agree.
And inflation coming up too, and lack of wage growth. So there are some factors that can weigh heavily on the economy.
I'm worried, and if that stuff happens and goes south, he's going to be in a bit of trouble.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because he's taking credit for this big boom right now, and if it goes south, he's going to get hit by the media.
Kat, what do you say about the second summit? Aren't you excited? Putin's going to come here. Maybe he'll go to Mar-a-Lago. Maybe we could throw him a military parade.
I know that there's going to be a lot of outrage, even if it goes well. It doesn't really matter. Because we saw with this press conference this week, we saw Trump saying the exact same things as he's been saying since he was a candidate, saying he wanted to get along with Putin. You may like it, you may not like it, but it's not new. And yet everybody reacted as if it was some sort of crazy new thing. It wasn't some crazy new thing. It was exactly what he's been saying. It's almost as if people aren't actually paying attention to the news, and just when they see other people get mad, they get mad too, because they want to all be in a nice little mad club where they all just breathe on each other really heavily.
I agree. It's all about being mad. Tyrus, anything bothering you about this?
Yeah, I'm pissed. I'll tell you why. It never should have happened.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with anything you think. He made him wait an hour?
Putin made him wait.
I would have left my girl in the house if she made me wait 15 minutes. This is the United States of America, Jack. We wait for no one. When he got there, it should have been a little intern named Roy going, I'm sorry you missed the president, Mr. Putin. Maybe next time. Like, that's the only thing I was mad about. We don't wait. We don't wait. You're out your mind, but whatever. Okay, I'll let that pass. The press conference, to me, I always look at things through my life path. And I've been out in a restaurant with lots of friends, and maybe you're having some issues at home.
Yeah.
And the press is the angry girlfriend.
Yes.
Who decides to bring up something personal while you're trying to entertain friends.
Yeah.
And you have that awkward, why would you bring that up here? I'm with my friends. What the hell? And that's basically what happened with Donald Trump and the press. They started asking questions. You see him up there going, it's like you're going to bring up my bastard child right now in this church meeting. Like, this is the place we need to bring this up. Like, I'm sorry, Reverend. Just give me a second. Why you do this whenever we go out? This is why I don't take you nowhere.
It's so true.
Yeah.
That's what Trump was like. Trump is like, okay, look.
And it's love child.
Yeah, it's love child. No, but it's true. It's like he is saying, I'm trying to deal with this guy. We can talk about that stuff later. No, I want to talk about it now.
Exactly.
That was my reporter voice. It's pretty good. I'm sorry.
No.
I wasn't imitating you, Christina. Because there was no from the Canadian side.
I don't say that, and I don't say a boot either, and I don't drink Molson.
What do you drink?
Garbage.
What? It is garbage? There are spots.
I shouldn't say that.
I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited for the next summit. I can't wait. I hope I get to go. All right, I'm also excited for my book. Don't forget, you pre-order it. The Gutfeld Monologues, here it is. It's also in stores July 31st, and the book tour starts August 4th. And I recorded the audiobook last week, and it's got a lot of surprises in there. I'll be in Fort Worth, Dallas, Woodlands, Texas, and you can get to see the rest of the current schedule right there on the screen. More dates to be announced. Go to G. Gutfeld. Come on, let's go to the teas. Coming up! Will a burst of youth get them to the voting booth? A new poll shows Dems think the party needs some new blood. We make fun of them next. Like Hannibal Lecter after skipping breakfast, the Democrats crave a fresh face. But who does Trump want to see plenty in 2020? I bet he dreams about Biden.
I dream about Biden. That's a dream. Look, Joe Biden ran 3 times. He never got more than 1%. And President Obama took him out of the garbage heap, and everybody was shocked that he did. I'd love to have it be Biden.
Me too. Just to hear more about the dreams. But Dems see it differently. A new poll shows that 3 out of 4 of them think it's time for a fresh face to take on Trump in the next election. The 4th Democrat said he wanted this guy. Yep, Alf. After all, they do love their aliens.
I like that.
Seriously, take a look at the last few candidates. Hillary, Bernie, Joe. They got 5 presidential bids among them and 0 wins. So yes, a fresh face seems to be in order. And you don't get much fresher than Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's the one who came out of nowhere and beat the incumbent in the New York primary. And she's breathed new life into the party. Haven't you, Alex?
I think what I meant is like the settlements that are increasing in some of these areas. I am not the expert on geopolitics on this issue. I do think that right now, when we have this no-holds-barred, Wild West hyper-capitalism, capitalism has not always existed in the world, and it will not always exist in the world.
She's right. Hyper-capitalism won't always exist in the world because it's not capitalistic enough.
Tired of regular old capitalism full of private property and competitive markets? Then you'll love super turbo hyper-capitalism. It's the first system where every worker gets their own startup. It's more goods, more services, and more reverse mortgage capitors made of gold. In super turbo hyper-capitalism, we're privatizing everything. Breathing, eating, flexing, dancing, and even vomiting. You'll get paid for all of it. And with full employment all the time, that means all pets have jobs. And all babies know how to fry. Plus, the retirement age is never. And the best part of super turbo hyper-capitalism, the stock market only goes up. And if it ever even starts to go down, Lou Dobbs has a hot tub party and it goes back up. So get ready for super turbo hyper-capitalism. And if you don't agree with us, you probably support ISIS.
You probably do. All right. Christina, I go to you because you're a business reporter and a damn good one. You watch these. We're a capitalist country, but we have a party that seems to be adopting the principles of the losing countries of history, socialism. That can't be good, right, business reporter?
I think that right now there needs to be a revamp of the Dems, which is why you have a 28-year-old right now that's become the new face. We got to give her some credit, but I'm not going to discount the fact that she needs to know how to answer questions. If she's in the limelight, she's going to run for a big position. She needs to know how to answer. It's not going to affect markets right now. Like you said, we're seeing a lot of green. And capitalism, that's what makes this country go round. And for all of us to have jobs and have money. So I don't believe in that at all.
Is that why you left Canada, because they're communist?
No, Canada's a great place. Medicare for all.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Yes, I see what you did there. And it was wrong. And this will be the last time you're on this show. Hey, Kat.
Come on, give me a break.
I will. Kat, should Democrats maybe stop expecting Cortez to be such a big deal like the next, I don't know, Obama? I don't know.
Yes.
Yes.
They should. I think that the Dems are screwed.
Right.
I think that Trump is going to win. I think they have a choice between a lot of old faces, very old faces, and then these like new faces that are just like spewing garbage out of them.
Yes.
I mean, her answer was so bad. She's also said a lot of other really kind of dumb stuff, like the reason unemployment is low is because everyone has 2 jobs, which is you have to give her points for creativity and even thinking that is how it works. But, you know, she's a former bartender. She's only 28 years old. She's not really ready for a position like that. So fresh faces might help, but fresh faces with more thoughts behind them.
Okay. I think she's got a lot of potential. I think she has a lot of potential because I can tell she's a good person, but also a socialist. Tyrus, what's wrong?
With me?
No.
Oh, I'm glad you asked.
Yes.
We still talking about Democrats? Come
Yes.
on, man. Oh. First of all, I just think of who was the cat who ran for Libertarians? Was it
Johnson?
Gary Bear.
Yeah, Gare Bear.
Yeah.
When they asked Gare Bear that Syria question, he was like, and it was over for Gare Bear, right?
Yeah, it was.
She's like, oh, I'm not really an expert, and then she just invented a word.
Yes.
Which is kind of the page out of somebody else I know, but he knows how to do it better.
No,
so
what Trump would say is he would just say, I'm going to get the best people on that.
Yeah, and it's going to be the greatest thing, where she was like hyper capitalism. So, yeah, here's the thing with the Dems. They just need to have like 700 people run.
Yes.
And just have like a battle royal, little wrestling, and throw out the guys, and it probably will be at the end Hillary standing with a steel chair with Bernie underneath her. I mean, it's just. I think you said it. What was it last week? We're probably going to have the rematch.
I think we're going to have a rematch.
Just because the new faces aren't smart faces, not quite yet, and the old faces ain't going anywhere. They got all the money, so I think we're going to have a really fun, exciting bloodbath on our hands.
What about you, Buck? What do you see 2020 shaping up to be? What's underneath that massive pile of hair of yours? Jealous?
It's real, by the way. It's real, I promise. I get really mean tweets about it all the time. Nothing lives in there. That's all a lie. It's totally real. It's my own.
What's wrong with hair that's not real?
So about the economy.
Yes.
So what I've got here, you have on the one, you've got this progressive socialist party, or part of the party rather, and on the one hand you've got the Bernie Sanders wing, and they remember the Soviet Revolution like it was yesterday.
Right.
And you've got the Ocasio wing, and they don't know what the Soviet Revolution was. So you get to sort of pick between what's definitely out of the mainstream, I think, for a lot of Americans, but on either side, they're not going to have that centrism. By the way, I think you guys are mostly joking about Hillary. I'm not joking. I think
serious.
She's going to toss the rosé over the shoulder, and she's coming back out swinging. She thinks that she will be the default candidate once again. She's already lost twice. What's the third time? I don't think it's.
I call it the first sentence of the obituary problem. She doesn't want the first sentence of her obituary to be lost to Trump.
Biden.
So she wants to say lost to Trump twice.
I mean, just by way of, one thing, Biden isn't even the guy they're talking about yet, and Trump squashed him like one of those bugs at a picnic that you don't know what it is, but it's just between your fingers already this week.
Yeah. You know what I love, though, how the same group of people who hate Trump are desperately seeking their own Trump. It's like to the Democrats, Trump are the vegetables and they're the baby. They hate the taste, but they know it's good for them. They need to get a Trump, right?
Well, it's worked, so why not? So we're going against it, but it worked for the Republican Party, so why not find that for the Democratic Party?
Exactly, and I believe it's Mark Ruffalo.
I was just thinking about it. They need to have just a mystery guy. There needs to be a black box with a question mark on it through the entire thing. And then if they happen to win, they just step out like, boom. There it is.
Play Guess Who.
That's like that dating show.
Yeah.
That's something.
The dating game.
Yes. Thank you.
Pretty simple.
It's like that movie with the shark. Anyway, still to come. It's like that Star Wars movie. What's it called? Who's happier, the right or the left? Guess what side we take next.
Live from America's News Headquarters, I'm Robert Gray. The deadly hostage situation at a Los Angeles grocery store is now over. The suspect surrendered and is in police custody. But one person died during the ordeal. Now, it all started when the suspect allegedly shot two people, his grandmother and girlfriend. Authorities say the suspect fired his weapon at police during a chase. He crashed his car outside the Trader Joe's and then ran inside. The suspect fired multiple shots at police during the chase, but no officers were injured. People came out of the store with their hands up, but some remained inside. The suspect's girlfriend was injured and transported to the hospital. She's in fair condition. Several shoppers shared details of their ordeal on social media, describing a terrifying scene of gunfire and people running for cover. I'm Robert Gray. Now back to the Greg Gutfeld Show.
They're sappier, but we're happier. New research from the University of California, wherever that is, shows conservatives believe their lives are more meaningful, while their liberal counterparts seem to be searching for meaning. In other words, conservatives are more this And libs are this.
First time ever anywhere, the 45th President of the United States of America, Donald.
Is this making sense? Just to clear up any confusion, it's like if conservatives were like this, and libs are like this. See, what the study is saying is conservatives satisfied with life. Liberals are more unsatisfied with questions left unanswered.
Why aren't I 50 points ahead, you might ask?
So that's what the study says, Kat. You're ignored in this study because you are a libertarian. Where are you on the happiness spectrum?
I feel like libertarians would probably think that life is most meaningless of all, because it just is like a never-ending cycle of like vaping and trading Bitcoin and screaming taxation is theft into an empty void. But I think this probably has a lot to do with the fact that liberals are really into being victims. Just like sitting around like, oh, my life is just, oh, I have so many microaggressions, you know. And if you think about how much you hate your life all the time, you're probably going to start to hate your life. Just like if you think about how you want a taco all the time and just thinking about tacos, you're going to probably want to eat a taco.
That is.
Are you hungry?
I kind of want a taco.
So do I now. A soft taco, though, not a hard taco. Yeah? You too?
No, I thought you were going for a dirty joke there.
Oh. Where did we get this person? She's from FBN. Oh my God, Tyrus.
I'm so happy right now. See, the weirdness gets turned on you. That's so great. How's it feel to be squirmy in your chair and going, man, how do I move on from this? Welcome to our world, Greg. Your question, sir?
Yeah. How do you feel about these findings?
Well, I mean, obviously, if you watch or skim through, it doesn't really matter how long you watch, any liberalist TV show or news program, it's Armageddon. It's horrible. It's like miseries in your house, and there's a little guy breaking your ankles and making you I mean, they're all sad. Every one of their TV shows has an evil president doing something to them that's like, they're just miserable, and we're like, we won, we're making money, I'm pop locking at home, you know. Just, you know, it's a good time if you're working hard and paying your bills and stuff. It's a great time. And if you're not, then you're miserable. And, you know, I'm not saying all Democrats don't work, but I'm just saying there's a certain group of them who prefer things done for them, and they're pretty upset right now.
Yeah, Buck, is happiness linked to having great hair?
Well, it definitely helps.
Because I think conservatives have better hair.
Well, that's obviously true. Look at who we've got on TV. Although, you know, there's that. I would say that teaching kids that there's 37 genders and crying yourself to sleep every night about climate change is not a recipe for happiness, and people are finding that out over the long term. That is, in fact, the case here. So there's no surprises. And to the points here, you know, we all lived through 8 years of the Obama administration, and we remember. And while we disagree with the policies, there is no equivalent to the video that we played of that person screaming at the sky. No conservative did that. That did not happen. That did not exist. So the angst that we're seeing now...
You didn't watch any Fox News?
I'm going to plead the fifth right now, Greg.
Just a couple hours. Not all the hours, but for the first couple of years, there was a bit of...
we tend to be a more chilled out bunch.
Yeah,
not
we are.
as chill as the libertarians,
you know
for obvious reasons.
What you're saying is, if politics is personal, then you can't get away from the politics. A conservative, politics aren't personal, so if your team loses, you still go out and play with your kids, you go to the bar, you play sports, none of the things I do. But my point is this, what?
If it's not personal, then you wouldn't have a show.
No, but this is my career. This is what I do for a living, Christina.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, but you never had a single Obama administration official chased out of a restaurant. And that stuff is just crazy.
I tried.
I think...
I'm very
lazy. Can you imagine Greg coming up to the table telling you to leave? What'd you say?
Christina, what are your thoughts? Does this ring true in Canada? Do you guys have polls there?
Politics does not come. We do have polls, and it does not come up as much as it does here. I've been here for only 4 months, and I cannot believe how much I discuss politics. But the study had 50,000 people over 16 countries, but they didn't find that much of a discrepancy between the happiness that a conservative would have versus a liberal. So I'm taking it with a grain of salt.
All right. Well, you know what I find interesting? Here's the reason why. There was a book called The Happiness Curve that found that the happiest people on the planet are 50-plus or older. So it could be, why are conservatives happier? They're older. It's why William Devane is happy. You know, it ain't gold, it's the silver in his hair. Sometimes I even impress myself with a turn of phrase. Coming up, Rodman, Kanye, North Korea. That's two dudes I've never met in a place I'll never go. But could they hold the key to world peace? That's next. Will things go south if West goes east? Good, that was a good lead, whoever wrote that. Oh, it was me. This week, Dennis Rodman revealed he's inviting Kanye West with him on his next trip to North Korea. West recently called Rodman one of his biggest inspirations who breaks barriers. Said Rodman of Kanye, I think that he respects me as far as understanding my views. He's doing amazing work around the world, so I respect him too. I'm going to invite him next time I go to North Korea. So good idea or a great idea? If Rodman paved the way for our current president to meet with Kim Jong-un, maybe Kanye could become the next celebrity export dispatched to fix world problems. I'd start by sending this man to make peace in the Middle East.
You're sleeping better.
Much better.
And you're looking good.
Feeling good.
I knew you would.
Maybe they just need a good night's sleep. I don't want that in my medicine cabinet, Tyrus. All right. Isn't pop culture really the best way for diplomacy? Because other countries love what we export. Music, actors, actors.
Models.
He's asking me, isn't he?
Yeah.
Every time.
What?
Every time Dennis Rodman comes up, you ask me first. I am not in no way, shape, or form an advocate for Dennis Rodman.
I am.
I am too.
I am, yeah.
I had a big crush on him in kindergarten.
That's because you're from Detroit. You're from Detroit.
He's a Piston.
Yeah. He's a Piston in more ways than one.
The last trip kind of
What does that mean? No, because he's energetic. People.
So,
this is the dirtiest group of people I've ever been around. What do you think? I almost called you Tucker.
I'm going to tell you something now on this show.
Can you say it like this? I'm going to tell you something.
A cab driver in D.C. got so excited to see me this week, and he goes, "You, from the TV, from the TV.
Yeah.
You are Tucker," and I was not. And he made me promise, and he made me promise. He goes, "Do you know him?" I said, "Yeah," and he goes, "Say hi to him for me." So hi, Tucker, from the cab driver in D.C., whose name I forget, but that happened. But
that's an American story.
It is, and it's a totally true story. But I would say that Dennis Rodman's last trip, if I recall, did not go so well. Wasn't he on TV a few weeks ago crying about all the death threats and everything? So why is he a glutton for punishment? People got kind of upset at him. When you're Dennis Rodman and you're getting involved in nuclear diplomacy, people get a little worried.
But I have to say, I thought that was the most sincere person I've ever seen in my life when he was crying up there, and I thought that he actually proved me wrong because I called him a useful idiot, when in fact, Christina, I'm a useless idiot. I didn't help with North Korea. Rodman did.
You don't want to go to North Korea, and Rodman, let's see. He did The Apprentice, didn't do well with that. He tried reality TV. He was in wrestling. I didn't know that.
Hey.
No, he worked on the lingerie wrestling show. No, but it was women. It was women who were wrestling, and he was.
Oh, what's wrong with that?
I'm not saying anything, but the list goes on. He's trying to get out in the limelight. Let's go after Kanye now, because Kanye's come out with a few comments, like saying questioning slavery. Too, so let's not forget that. So I think it's a bad idea.
When in the black community, when we sense danger, we usually bring somebody with us to make the exchange in case
You're gonna take
go
Kanye?
down.
Why not Jay-Z?
Yeah, because if Kanye becomes annoying. More annoying than Dennis.
Leave him in North Korea.
Hey, bro, I'm gonna be right back. You guys talk. I'll be right back, and then you handle that. It could be a top secret exchange. Maybe Kim Jong-un's sister's coming here.
Yes.
And we traded Kanye and Rodman in the first round pick for Kim Jong-un's sister. Since, as you remember, everybody loved her.
Yeah.
She didn't say 2 words at the Olympics, but we loved her.
The thing is, everybody gets famous people as speaking as a famous celebrity. People just innately trust me. They just trust me. I get so many offers to babysit, which is disgusting because I don't want to sit on a baby.
Really? People offer?
Yes.
People want you to babysit their children?
Yes.
How does that
That's
email even
interesting.
start?
I don't know. Yeah.
Hi, Greg. Love the show. Could you watch my kid?
Yes.
I just think that
Because I am trustworthy.
if Kanye actually went and did this, people would get so mad at Kanye, which is why I think Kanye would absolutely want to do it.
Yeah.
Because he likes to do things to kind of rock the boat. And if you're looking to rock the boat, you can't get much more like rock boatier than like hanging out with the dictator. So that's kind of the way to do it. I would love to be like a fly on the wall during this meeting, which is weird because I don't even really want to be a fly.
No, it's true. It's true. I don't know why everybody says I want to be a fly on the wall. Well, then you're probably going to get swatted.
You're going
and
to die like so fast.
Yeah, people are stupid. They don't think ahead.
No.
Anyway, more still to come. The people that create killer robots sign a pledge to not create killer robots. How nice of them. We're screwed. They're the exterminators of the Terminators. More than 2,000 scientists and tech leaders, including Elon Musk, signed a pledge to stop the development of lethal autonomous weapons, a.k.a. killer robots. Sounds nice, but let me give you a quick list of problems here. First, they're too late. We already have killer robots. They're called drones. That genie isn't going back into the bottle. So, if you're not making them, someone else will. Second, give me a break. Elon Musk, you create driverless cars. Those things can be killer weapons when they screw up. Third, only 2,000 people signed this pledge. You know who didn't sign the pledge? The other 7 billion people on the planet. So 7 billion non-hippies are free to keep making autonomous weapons. The country that masters new weapons first gets to run the earth, just like nukes. So it better be us or we're screwed. Sleep tight, everyone. FY, here's the truly scariest robot.
Now, having said all this, why aren't I 50 points ahead, you might ask?
I know. Christina, I never can trust what other countries are going to do behind our back, so we have to be the first people to make these weapons. Like, what if Canada suddenly decides to make autonomous killer robots? Yeah, I know.
I don't even know what to say to that. Maybe Justin Trudeau. We'll give you Bieber.
He's an autonomous killer robot.
Yeah, definitely. And
so is Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Why are there so many Justins from Canada?
Good-looking ones too, right?
Oh, really? I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I don't see good looks.
And Ryan's too. Ryan Gosling and Ryan.
Way to avoid the question.
Yeah, I know. If I were to go, I'd rather be killed by a killer robot than, let's say, being hit by a bus or something. If that's the way to go.
I kind of agree.
Not a story. That's the obituary that I want. Killed by a running robot.
Exactly. You know, Buck, I think it's unfair to call them killer robots. I would call them peace machines.
Absolutely. There's this whole signing this thing. They must have run out of tofurkey in the Google cafeteria or something, and a bunch of beta males all got together and are like, how do we show the world how much we really matter, man? You know, you've heard of virtue signaling. This is like the ultimate nerd signaling. They're basically saying, I mean, we could take over the world and kill all of you, and we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Which is not a thing that they could really do, I think.
Yeah, I don't think you're right. You know, Tyrus, robots do not have the human flaws of distraction and exhaustion, which makes them able to make better decisions when they're driving or when they're killing. They will save people's lives. That's beautiful.
Right. Here's the arrogance of this. What do we call it? Peace treaty?
Yes.
Nerds save us thing. They all get Melvins. But the thing, what kills me is robots do not think, and artificial intelligence in general, already think faster than we do. They think differently than we do. They don't think like we do. They're not emotional.
Yeah.
Humans is the word. So if you say don't kill humans on the program, and let's say Tyrus gets on the computer and says kill humans, anything looks like meat, they're going to do that without discretion. It's not going to be a movie where they're like, hey, robot, don't, and then talk him down. There's not going to be any of that.
Yeah.
Like, it's a program.
Yeah.
And if it's your ass in the program, it's your ass. There's no human error and emotion in artificial intelligence.
Well,
They're missing that. They write in that pledge means absolutely nothing. It's whatever who depends. If they get hacked in and they change it, then it's a wrap.
Yeah. But I think that there's a lot of people that work the drones, Kat. So there's still human involvement. I think this is a good thing.
I think it's a great thing. I think that if they really cared about our safety, they would be trying to come up with the killerest killer robots ever.
Right.
Make them extra murderous and waterproof.
Right?
No.
As well. Because what are you going to do, though? What are you going to do, though? If China has all these killer robots, then they run the entire world. Greg, I think you're absolutely right about this. And because then we can't just, like, fight other countries' killer robots with our regular human murderers.
Exactly. We lose.
That's not going to work. Human murderer versus robot murderer. Human murderers get tired.
Yes, they do. They do get tired. Robots don't get tired.
Right.
I said batteries, though.
Yeah, well, you know what? We don't need... Look, the Pope...
This is why they made him sign this. This is the same argument the two nerds had.
Solar charging water.
What if we did this and they started Dungeons & Dragons and the grown up in the room said, look, everyone signed a letter saying they're not going to make killer robots for us. Everybody stop doing that. That's what happened.
500 years ago, the Pope tried to ban the crossbow. Didn't work out. That's the only stupid fact I have on this. I guess I should get out now. Don't go anywhere. Final thoughts next.